One of the hardest things about being in lifting culture is the cycle of bulking and cutting that traps new lifters like quicksand. So given my own trials with trying to be a middleweight strongman competitor, where the best athletes are really muscular and have no body fat on them, I'm going to give you what I've learned up to this point on how to get really strong without getting excessively fat. This video isn't so much for people who wear size 28 pants and want to get really strong but don't want their body to change at all in the slightest. The assumption is that you're at risk at getting fat by actually chasing gains and adding calories at some point. So these are the tactics that are going to get you to that point. Hypertrophy is assumed to be part of the game. No matter who you are starting out, you need more muscle if you want to get stronger. That brings us to thing number one, which is to eat like you give a shit. I don't know what it is about strength culture where there's like an allergy to eating like you care. It's like you associate it with all of the culturally oppressive body standards that you're trying to escape. You don't want to feel the pressure to look a certain way. So instead you just dive into strength and use that as an excuse to eat whatever the fuck you want. It's horrible. This shit's got to stop. There's no sport that treats food the way that amateur strength athletes treat food. It's insanity. Guys, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. I want to believe that the people getting into strength sports are looking for a real positive change, for a real challenge to sink their teeth into, to actually see themselves transformed by doing hard shit they didn't think they could do before. I don't want to believe that you're all in here for an easy trophy and to get some simple validation from people that'll give you clapter for just showing up. But hey, I guess we'll see. So as far as diet goes, I'm going to make it super easy for you guys, all right? Calories and protein intake are about the only thing you need to fucking worry about. If your calories are not crazy, if they're right around your daily expenditure, and if your protein is high enough that you're not going to be hemorrhaging muscle tissue, you're going to be just fine. We all know the protein number. It's about 1 gram per pound of body weight. Truthfully, you probably don't even need that much. And then carbohydrates are needed because we're in a power sport. Yes, you fucking need carbohydrates. So if you're going to cut something, you cut fat. I don't give a shit about the big deal that people make over like cholesterol and hormones. Oh my God, if you cut fat down, your hormone levels are going to tank. No, if you stay a fat fuck, your hormone levels are going to tank. And unfortunately, when strength culture does address diet, it has a habit of going really gimmicky really fast, which brings us to point number 2, and that is to ditch the disordered eating. It feels like a lot of lifters that are new or on the outside or haven't really committed to a goal, they get pulled between this like no-win cycle of bulking and cutting. It's like, I'm a little fat, so I got to cut calories, but then I get weak and I don't want to be weak, so I need gain, so I'm going to up calories. And it's always this FOMO, like I'm doing the wrong fucking thing. Understand first and foremost that most of you, 99% of you watching this, don't need a bulk or a cut. You need to establish the way you should be eating, and you're probably going to see a massive transformation in your physique. And once you get good at that and get comfortable, then you can start to turn the screws a little bit to make it a little more specific. Really no different than your training. If you jump into some crazy ass cut that gives you whiplash and taxes your like willpower energy reservoir, you're going to fall off really quick. Set yourself up for success. Make it easy. Find something, commit to it. I've told you guys about Justin Harris's carb cycling template. I have no financial connection to him whatsoever, but it literally changed the way that me and Laura eat. We save money. We don't argue about food. And eating this way not only has me looking better, I'm performing better, and my energy's better. My entire fucking life is better. Eat like a goddamn bodybuilder. It's not hard. We're not doing the Dave Tate, eat a Hershey's bar every hour on the hour so you keep your insulin levels jacked through the roof, or the J.M. Blakely, dump a bottle of olive oil onto a Supreme pizza and take it down because gains. And guys, I get it. I was part of the Go Mad Nation. I used to bring a jug of room temperature whole milk into my job as a trainer at LA Fitness when I was 19 and chug it shamelessly in front of everybody. And I got strong as shit. And I also completely learned how fast a human being can actually get fat, which was way faster than I thought. As a natty in contest prep, I found that taking down a half gallon of chocolate milk after each workout got me really strong. I coined the Pop-Tarts and Mountain Dew diet. I was a tank, but I also had to cut 30 pounds to make the 231s because I was a fat fuck that didn't care about my diet. It was a bad spot. You don't want to be there. And part of the disordered eating is kicking out the fad diets. I don't know what it is about the fads. I do not want to hear about fucking carnivore, about keto, about whatever bullshit nutritional science research that you looked at. What an absolute shit show of nothing that field is. You guys are doing one of two things. You're either doing what average ass bodybuilders are doing, or you're fucking around on some bullshit that is wasting your time that nobody else wants to hear about. Get a template for a basic ass bodybuilding diet plan, fill your fridge with lean meat, with rice, with veggies, with shit you know is good, and commit to eating that shit 5 days a week, and you're gonna have nothing to complain about. If you're doing anything else, you're overcomplicating it because you're lazy and you don't wanna commit to something that's uncomfortable. I'm telling you, no bulks, no cuts. Just eat the way you're supposed to eat, and it's gonna blow your mind what happens to your body. Now we're gonna go to how you actually expend calories to make sure that you stay in a deficit or at least stay somewhere around your daily expenditure. Most of you, if you do that, you're gonna lose fat, and we're gonna do it in a way that's not gonna eat away at your strength gains. We're also gonna do it in a way that you don't hate. So number 3, do the most specific thing to your goals. Jack up your training volume. If you do more volume, that is more sets, more reps, sure, maybe more frequency throughout the week. If you do more total work, that is conducive to more muscle growth. That's a win. That's also going to eat up more calories, not only in the actual workout, but you feel it when you get home, when you're fucked up from that workout. Your body is working to do some shit. That is a state that you want to be in for growth. That's going to make you stronger long term. And that's one of the reasons I'm a proponent of volume training. It just gives you more options than if you pigeonhole yourself to very little work. Kurt Karwoski talked about how their high volume phases were specifically used to lean them up before they would get ready for shows. Similarly, I jumped into my 70s powerlifter routine several months ago to start this run of contest prep, and all that volume came in clutch to take my waist down. Of course, it was easy because I was kind of a fat shit in December and January, but it worked. It did the trick. All my lifts went up, my muscularity went up, my waist came down, and right now it's about as small as it's ever been since I've been competing. If you commit to doing not just benching, curls, rows, all well and good, but if you commit to taking your squat and deadlift workouts seriously, adding volume week to week, committing to repeating sets of 10. Yes, you can do repeating sets of 10 on deadlifts. That is absolutely a thing. And I would say that it's good for you. You are going to burn so many extra calories that the body fat's just going to melt off unless you're going to Krispy Kreme like immediately after the workout. Most lifters that are a little fat, I feel very comfortable saying, don't do that much work in the gym. And of course, my run on 70s Powerlifter was made so much better by the fact that I did it on Base Strength AI, where every set, rep, weight change, every block change, every exercise swap was handled by my input. I plugged in my performance and how difficult it was, and it told me what I needed to do next. It even prescribed me volume I honestly didn't want to do, and I probably wouldn't have done otherwise. But it read the fact that I was having an easy time and said, hey, you gotta level your shit up, so I did. And what happens when you switch to a bodybuilding diet and then you climb up to the most amount of volume that you can do and still recover from? An exceptional transformation. And of course, you guys can find out more about that at Base Strength AI. Thing number 4, consider where that volume's coming from. I strongly recommend you take up doing strength shit that you probably hate doing. That's really good for getting your numbers up and generally improving your performance. I have beaten the drum on heavier strongman shit, the most productive strongman movements that you can do that are some of the reasons that they're the best deadlifters in the world. Sorry guys, they just are. It's going to be the carrying and loading type movements. Farmers and yokes, yes, really long farmers and yokes. And strap up for the farmers, take your grip out of it. That stuff very much has a good conditioning effect, but it just slaps loads of muscle on your upper back, your midsection, your hips, just from the time under tension if you push it. And it's just a killer workout. It expends a ton of energy, more so than the few sets of back extensions you were gonna do. Similarly, sandbag stuff, stone loading for reps. If you have a keg, fill it up with sand, commit to doing some Tom Haviland-ish runs. Not only is it going to improve every aspect of your game in the gym, but it's also going to help that body fat come off. You have to fall in love with it though. I find a lot of purpose and enjoyment in this stuff, so that helps me. I'm also a strongman competitor, so I don't really have a choice. But if you guys can find the passion for this stuff the way you did for a barbell, I promise you it's only gonna make you better. Programming for this stuff is super easy. You can do stuff for distance, going really far. You can do stuff for speed, going really fast, or you can do stuff for weight, where you're just trying to load up and grind. I recommend distance over anything. That's a foundation. That's what makes you better long term. The other stuff is fun. That's what everybody does, but you're going to run into a wall really quick. If you're doing distance, that's what adds the muscle. That's what adds the conditioning. And that's what burns the body fat. It takes a certain type of psychopath, though, to find enjoyment in that. Hopefully that's you. Thing number 5, consider feeder workouts. You call them GPP workouts, bonus workouts, whatever. But again, we're just finding ways to add more work throughout the week that you don't hate and that is going to help you with your goals. Doing light restorative workouts to set you up for your next workout, great idea. It's a way of adding frequency, getting a little more volume, but it's restorative. It's not going to beat you down. If I leave it open-ended, you guys are going to like skitch yourself out with all the options that you could do. So the best thing that I recommend is to go go in and have a handful of body weight, cable, or dumbbell movements and just run them in a circuit. Hit your whole body in sequence. It's the easiest thing. Or if that's not tenable, you can just superset things. That's easy as well. 10 to 20 reps on everything. Keep the effort low. Go for high heart rate. Go for a pump. Don't really go for strain. This is supposed to be restorative. That volume, yes, it will help you with your gains. It will help you with your strength. It'll be the excuse to take care of those weak points that you've just let lag because you can't bring yourself to do rear delt raises after your bench workout. You hit that top set, eat a ham sandwich and go home. This is the stuff that gives you the opportunity to round yourself out. It burns more calories, gets your conditioning up. This is what we're talking about when we mean optimizing performance. Thing number 6, get your ass a Fitbit and just track steps. Easiest thing in the world. You don't know how much you sit on your ass until you get a Fitbit and see how much you don't move. It's been game changing for me and Laura, and we end up bouncing off each other. It's like, hey, I'm not quite at 15,000 yet. Do you want to go walk around Target? Do we need anything from the grocery store? Also, any opportunity to engage in general play is great. If you like doing pickup games of basketball, if there's a pickleball court next to you, if you like just getting in the pool and swimming laps, get on a bike and just cycle around the neighborhood. Anything that counts as playing that you enjoy and look forward to, gets you some sunlight, gets you around other people that you see as enjoyment. That's free calories because you're engaging with something you like that builds you up instead of something that feels like another burden or chore that you have to get to. This has been one of the sneakiest ways to keep the body fat off. So that brings us to number 7, the thing everybody hates, which is cardio. And I am the laziest cardio enjoyer, but I still do cardio. I keep a good motor. The key here, it's not finding the most optimal method for burning body fat and sparing muscle tissue. The key here is finding something that burns a good amount of calories that you don't hate doing, that isn't going to feel to you like another workout that you're going to fight yourself on in order to not do. There's things that are super effective. High intensity intervals, great. They're fantastic. It also feels like another workout that I don't want to do when I'm taxed from the day, from work, from the workout that I did before. I want to be able to do something that I find enjoyable that burns comparable amount of calories. It's the reason I started rucking. I can go walk a hilly neighborhood for an hour and I might burn 500 to 600 calories. If I throw on a 25-pound pack, I burn closer to 1,000. It's more enjoyable, doesn't take any more mental effort. I can do it with my wife. It's become a staple. It's just so easy. So I recommend finding things like that. You're really not going to be getting up, walking outside with people. Beyond that, if you have to do cardio on like an elliptical, an air bike, a treadmill, I strongly recommend doing casual intervals. It's called fartlek training. I know, LOL. It's Swedish, I think. I don't know. It means speed play, but it means just kind of ramping up and slowing down in kind of a randomized order. And the reason I recommend that over high intensity intervals feels like a chore. You're on a deadline. You know exactly what you have to do. The point is to keep your heart rate up at a certain point. And if you're on an air bike or a treadmill, you can run, slow down, jog as you feel. So it feels like it's on your terms. It's not this oppressive thing that you're under. You'll find yourself getting into it more easily. And once you're going, you'll have a lot more fun kind of going and stopping and slowing down as you feel. And it's going to be better than just going for a casual walk. So those are my go-to options. Huge fan of rucking. And if you are going to jog or run or cycle or sprint or swim, play with the speed. You don't have to commit to something that is aggressive and all out. So these are my tips and tricks. These are the things that help suck body fat off me. I actually got about another 15 pounds to go. So look out for those after pictures. The bodybuilding arc is here, guys. It's real. Let me know what your experience is. What tips helped you that I missed here? Leave those in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Till next time, this is Bromley. I'll see you.